one amazing series of YA novels, an insatiable thirst to relive the glory that is K.A. Applegate's literary masterpiece. This is Animorphs, the Dork-Bajir Chronicles. TV series, episode 1 and 2.
Hello, and welcome to the Dork-Bajir Chronicles, a Animorph podcast where we read through the Animorph series one book at a time and talk about it every week. Today, we won't be talking about books, we'll be talking about the Animorph TV series. Wow. In fact, we'll be talking about it for the entire month of May, and we'll be joined by... Well, let's get to that in a second. My name is Mikhail, the host.
I'm Tessa, the expert.
And I'm Braden, the not-so-newbie anymore, because... everything that we just saw, I've already read that shit.
True. And we're also joined by fellow podcaster Jarred McClure of the Two Nerds and a Basement podcast. Say hi, Jarred.
How's it going, everybody?
Hey.
I feel like I should probably scrub my eyes after watching that show a little bit, but...
Oh, yeah. There's definitely like a nice little a bleach treatment that we all need. Mostly just for our eyeballs.
And the bleach treatment is really just looking at this screen cap that Mikhail has grabbed of Rat Marco.
Ooh.
Rat Marco? That's a pretty...
Whoa!
I mean, I also love Tobias Hawk.
Really racially loaded there, TS.
Nose. Like, Tobias Hawk is giving me feelings of, like, warmth and love.
Yeah.
So, Jarred, you'll be joining us for this... month of madness that we're going to be covering the first 8 episodes of the Animorph TV series.
Oh yeah, I'm in this for the long haul.
You've been wanting to do this like since we started this podcast.
Yes.
I think.
You've not actually read the books though.
I have not. My only real like exposure to Animorphs was this podcast and watching this show when it first premiered on YTV back in the fucking day.
On YTV!
Yeah. On YTV! Yeah.
Also, the Zone.
Oh my god, the Zone.
The Zone's my shit.
Also, cool.
Sugar was my first love.
PJ Phil.
Man, there was a rumor going around that Sugar got into porn.
Oh,
total bullshit rumor because I scoured the internet for that shit.
Well, maybe she didn't. She might have done hentai because she voiced Sailor Moon or Mini Moon. Yeah, she voiced Mini Moon.
Wow.
I didn't.
So she might have done some voice work.
I've never heard of the planet Minnie.
No, Mini Moon
Anyways.
was
That's
the
what we
name
call
of it.
Earth's moon.
God damn it.
Oh, sorry.
So she was like Sailor Moon versus of Moon.
So, anyone who has heard Jarred's podcast, and you should have heard it by now because we've all been on it, me, Braden, and Tessa, you would know that Jarred is an expert at summarizing plots.
Oh god, he's here to finally show us how to do it right.
And as such, I'm going to hand over the summary for episode 1 onto you, Jarred. So
let's jump right into it. We start off, we get a home video shot in his own bedroom, but we immediately introduced to Jake. Jake gives us kind of the recap of the last couple days, and he really can't believe it. You know how I know that? Because he said it about 5 goddamn times. I can't believe it. I don't know. I saw it and I couldn't believe it. We get it, Jake. Some weird shit happened. How about you just get into it here?
And there's a lot of long pauses.
Oh, yeah,
where he just like looks down at his hands, and it's like, okay, there's smell the fart acting, and then there's also can't believe it acting, where you're trying to like remember your line, and so you like...
He has that shit written on his palms. Somebody speculated that this wasn't actually part of the episode because I don't think they do a motif like this ever again, and that this was actually something like ripped from the VHS.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think that's right because me and Braden, I actually bought these episodes.
Really?
They're $2 each. Yeah, and me and Braden, I don't know, did we watch I think we did watch the versions that I bought.
Yeah.
Largely because it's like, wow, the resolution of the ones on YouTube.
Yeah, I was about to say, is that why your screen caps don't look like shit?
But in those bought versions, that little monologue is not there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Weird.
So,
Huh. Okay, well, the version I saw, we're introduced to Jake. He kind of gives us like a quick little rundown of, not even really a rundown. It's just like, him being in disbelief about what's happened over the past few days. But then we cut to this odd 90s internet cafe arcade thing.
Probably also frozen yogurt.
Frozen yogurt, and apparently a kennel because they allow dogs in there.
Oh my god.
I don't understand what this place is, and we see it more times coming through in the following episodes.
Yeah, it's the home base. It's their bat cave.
I feel like it was cheaper than the barn, so they were just like, we're just gonna meet at the mall at this weird hybrid place.
Teens love video games.
Everybody else in this show discusses goddamn sensitive information in public anyway, so why do they care where it is?
Yeah, it's true.
Pretty much.
We'll get to that in a minute. But, so we're introduced to this, we're introduced again to Jake, we're finally introduced to Marco, and we're also introduced to Tobias, although we don't know it's Tobias yet. All we know is it's this brooding...
It's weird, because it looks like Tobias is at school at, like, computer club, and he's got people who faces are in shadow, who are just like, wow, he's really good at computers. Wow, you're good at playing computer games.
Yeah.
Whereas, I was gonna call him Mikhail, and I'm like, nope. Mikhail is the one in real life. Marco is the one in the TV show.
Oh yeah,
Marco and Jake
close,
are playing like a game on our arcade system.
It's sort of, also the fact that Tobias is like good at computers never is irrelevant or anything.
Yep, no. And they're somehow playing the exact same game at the arcade and on the computer.
I think it's supposed to be less of an arcade and more of like a computer cafe. Like
they just happen to be playing games at?
Yeah.
That's what
and
you
they
do at
only had
cafes,
the effects budget for one video game.
Oh, don't worry.
They just made a quick little simulation on their computer, and it's like, it's a video game with robots that they can pretend to be playing.
Don't worry, they also only had enough money to animate Vista 3 one time, but we'll get to that.
Animate in heavy quotations.
Heavy quotations. So we find out, at this point we don't know it's Tobias, but it's the young brooding gentleman with the leather jacket who can't afford to continue playing even though he's phenomenal at it.
He has such talent in those fingers.
Gross.
Jesus.
Gross.
Yeah.
We're then introduced to Cassie and Rachel, who make their way in and very heavy-handedly tell us, I'm also the captain of the cheer team, we had a meet. Like, oh yeah, I don't care.
I don't
care.
Here's this exposition.
Is that in the book? Is Rachel the captain of the cheer team, or is she just on the gym
She's
squad?
She's just on the gymnastics team. Like, she's not on the cheerleading team at all.
Right.
Because she doesn't really care.
She apparently cares very heavily in this one.
And I mean, her in the show
you don't
is
have
much
to...
more like what Brayden calls the girl next door, whereas Rachel in the books was much more like good at school, but she was bored and like restless and wanting to do something more.
But I mean, Jared hasn't read the books, and so we shouldn't worry too much about explaining the differences between the books, because ultimately this series of TV shows stands alone as just like horribleness. And I think that if you read the books, it's still horrible. And I really don't think, like, it's kind of one of those things where, where it's like, oh, if you had read the book, this would make sense. If you had seen the other Marvel movies, Infinity War would make sense. It's like, no, you don't need to have read the books for this to be.
Not at all.
That's very true.
No.
Well, you definitely don't need to read the books because in all of the 4 episodes I've seen so far, they recap everything that's happened at the beginning. Every single one.
Yeah.
Yep. And then with Jake's whole 5-minute monologue at the beginning of the first episode, it's like, okay, we get it. Yerks exist.
And that whole monologue bugs me because it's like, I'm going to tell you all these things that you're going to learn about in 2 minutes anyway.
Yeah, that's what makes me think that it wasn't part of the original airing of the show.
Yeah.
And it was just like a thing.
Maybe that was for the parents on the VHS.
Oh.
That they would just be like, oh, that's what this is about. Cool, I'm going away because I don't want to watch this.
I've got business to do.
I got business, I got adult things to do.
Yeah, that is true. Why would they have 2 info dumps about the Yerks and everything? That's a good point. I didn't think about that point.
Yeah, it's very, very gratuitous and unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
Where do we go from here? Oh yeah, and
so we just started. Oh man,
we just
Jared,
started.
you were so good. We hyped you up, and now we've led you down this
trust me,
Animorphs path.
You've been on Two Nerds. You know I always get back to it. All right, Then, for some particular reason, Homer, Jake's dog, starts shitting a brick and bolts out of the cafe. So they all proceed to chase him because apparently all 4 of these kids are Olympic goddamn marathon runners.
It's so fast.
They literally run. It's light when they leave the mall. Yep. It is pitch black when they get to the power plant.
Yeah. And they're not even sweating. Not even a little.
No.
They're not. Nobody stops. It's like, oh god, we ran so far. They're just like, oh Homer. What are you doing here?
Not even going very fast. They're just kind of doing a little jog.
It's actually it's actually an example of non-linear storytelling. Even though we assume these are the same day, this is actually a week later. Homer ran away at an entirely different time from an entirely different place they were hanging out, and they just happened to run into Tobias.
Tobias is just chilling at this old power plant.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't have parents. They tell you that pretty quick.
Yeah.
But they walk in, and Tobias is just standing there staring at them as they come up to him.
And Homer's sitting completely still.
Just also staring. And it's like, you creeps. You're both creepy right now.
Oh. So then they try and talk to Tobias, but he draws their attention to lights that come streaming out of the sky, and all of a sudden, boom! Fucking spaceship lands right in the middle of this old power plant. We're then introduced to the first Andalite we see, Elfangor. Prince Elfangor.
Prince Elfangor Serenial Shamtel. Which,
Thanks, Tessa.
Yeah, that's
they never say his full name.
They barely say his, short name.
Elfie?
Actually, he says his name. That's it. He's like, I'm Elfangor. And
I get the impression from a couple things that come up, that maybe the cast didn't read the books and weren't invested in the lore. I think later on, I'm pretty sure someone says, yes, Mr. 3.
Oh my god, what?
It kind of brushes off the tongue, and I think probably a lot of people missed it because Mr. does sound like Visor. But I'm pretty sure, later they call him Mr. 3. So the idea that they just brush over some of the deep lore cuts doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. I've got a feeling none of them were oh my god, they're making an Animorph series, and I got the gig, hell yeah! They're all just oh sweet, this is a job. Cool.
Pretty much.
Visor 3, sorry, not Visor 3, we'll get to that in a sec. Elfangor then kind of talks them through, gives them the background. These are Yerks. They're slug things that crawl in your ear and make you shitty. I'm paraphrasing here.
They just take over your... Yeah, anyway.
I'm paraphrasing here.
I'm trying to not interrupt.
He's gravely wounded at this point, and they're all trying to figure out what to do with it, and he decides that he's going to give them powers. So he holds up, apparently, the fucking Tesseract from Marvel.
Yep. And it's exactly like that.
It's exactly like that. It's the same blue. It's just
What stone was that?
That was the little square.
No, I know, but what stone was in the Tesseract?
That was the Space Stone.
Space Stone.
Yeah.
Hey! He's an alien!
Hey!
It all makes sense now.
Hey, Lamau.
Oh man, Marvel took so much from Animorphs.
A lot of pieces of work did, as you understand when you get into the deep dive.
Yes. God. He holds up the Tesseract, gives them all the ability to morph, to acquire the DNA of any animal that they touch, which I want to double check. I know we're not diving too deep into the books on this one. That's what the regular episodes are for, but did they need to touch the animals in order to acquire their DNA?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. I thought it was just any animals they knew. That would have been way cooler.
Would they have to be on first name basis with the animal?
I know a dragon.
Exactly. Fuck. Well, apparently you can morph into a fucking security guard. We'll get to that in a bit.
Apparently,
that is pretty
except
dope.
You can't.
Yeah. I thought the point was Marco had trouble with it, but
Spoilers for episode 4.
Spoilers
we'll
for
get
episode
to that.
4. Uh-oh. They're all given the power to morph, and when another spaceship lands right next to them, this one actually lands instead of crashing, because Vista 3's better. That's right, I said it.
He wasn't wounded.
I said it.
He's a good man, that Visor. Mr. 3.
Mr. 3. Good old Mr. 3.
No, get out of here.
The door opens up, we see another Andalite walk out. By the way, what did you guys think of the design of the Andalites?
Oh, I hated
Oh, it
it.
was awful. It was terrible.
They're extremely hairy in a really bad way.
Yeah, it looks like what's in the book, what's described in the book and what's put on the cover, but it looks like somebody skinned something from the cover of the books and then just like stuffed it in different pieces and then put it over a human body.
Also, his eye
Because
stalks
that's
don't
actually
move
what they
at
did.
all. Like, his eye stalks,
Yeah.
like, you said it yourself, you thought they were just antenna. No, they're supposed to be eye stalks
I
that
didn't
look
know they were eye
around.
stalks until you said
They
it.
just, like, squint and glare.
Yeah.
They're supposed to look around.
Well, in all fairness, they do move, but they jiggle because they're made of rubber when he walks down the balcony.
It's pretty bad.
in all
I do like that
fairness-
they use a real fucking horse to do the close-up shots of the feet,
Yes.
though.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yes.
In all fairness, I've worked with puppets that have used like eye stalks. It's actually my Twitter profile pic is me tied up in a bathroom
right.
with some slugs. I actually got to work those slugs, and it's not as easy as you might think
I can imagine
to just
so,
wiggle around some sticks in a very complex puppet.
I mean, but, like, to be fair, Brayden, that was a student film, and this is, like, Nickelodeon on YTV. They have a bit bigger of a budget.
I mean, barely.
That's true. That's fair.
I think also the authors have said, like,
Yeah.
because they were writing books at a time where, I don't know what the word is, but like franchisization was a giant
yeah.
fad. Like, Ninja Turtles started off as like a noir kind of riff on Detective Comics,
Mm-hmm.
and it turned into like, there's a Ninja Turtles musical. Do you know what I mean?
With
and I
Vanilla Ice.
yeah, it's bad. But I think the authors have explicitly said before, like, we were
Yeah.
trying to design aliens in the book where you could really go wild with your imagination, and it wasn't designed around the idea that, like,
This would
hey,
be on
how can we
TV.
reproduce this in, like,
Yeah.
a action figure or something?
Yeah, they
You know
said
what
it
I
like
mean?
they wanted aliens that were difficult to make for TV because they were annoyed at the aliens
Yeah.
in Star Trek being humans with a little bit of putty.
Well, there's also, like, the aliens from Megamorphs #2 that were, like, crab people with two hands on one side.
Yeah.
Which is, like,
What?
alright,
The
it's a
human
bit too
hands.
obvious.
What do
And they
Yeah.
also had like eyeballs all over their shells.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
terrifying.
It was gross.
Yeah. Anyways, not
Anyway.
to derail.
Visser 3 then comes out. He is assumed the,
Before this, Elfangor tells the kids to run away and
Oh,
then
yeah.
chucks something at Tobias and it's like, Tobias, catch this, guard it with your life.
no, guard it with your heart and your soul.
And
Yeah.
he misses. And they run away from it. So they leave this really important thing.
Well, they run.
In
They
the
don't run
dirt.
away from the disc. They
No,
run
they
away from the
bad
other
guys.
spaceship landing.
They run away
there.
from the bad guys landing in the spaceship. But like,
The grenade, the disc actually turns out to be a grenade. Prince Elfangor was tricking them.
here, I'll let you
He was-
touch the Tesseract and then I'll kill you.
He was hoping that the kids would give it to Visser 3, it would blow up, and it would be totally fine.
Aha! I killed these children.
That's it. Yeah.
We're introduced to Visser 3. He's taken the body of an Andalite. He says the morphing capabilities are quite useful. And it's this, but might I add, this Andalite looks way fucking better than Elfangor did.
Yeah, that's true.
Looked way better.
I think it's because, like, Elfangor is, like, on the ground, and it's already hard to, like, display it. At least with Visser 3, it's, like, the majestic pose.
They
kind
just
of
show
thing.
him like a extreme close up of just his big, sparkly, watery eyes. Whereas Visser 3, like, you get the whole head and you see his head very slightly move up and down, and his eyes move, like, squint and expand, and his nose slits wiggle a little bit.
But they filmed him from a low angle. So,
Wait, that was a mistake.
So
for
he's
sure.
imposing, and you can
Yeah.
see his double chin.
Yeah, it's not so good. Then Visser 3 then takes his true form and eats Elfangor right in front of these kids. And I noticed that none of the kids really, like, look away. None of them are like, oh god, he's being eaten. They're just like, oh, whoa, staring intently at this gore fest.
yeah, Elfangor, it's actually pretty fucked. Like, he begs for his life. It's intense.
Yeah.
And you do see his tail blade go at this monster to try and hurt him. as you're watching the shadow of this death happen.
Oh yeah, and might we add that they couldn't actually afford to show that.
No.
Lord in heaven, no.
So they're just like, shadows and a hand. Nailed it, guys.
Yeah. And also the shadow looks almost exactly the same as the Dork-Bajir, like, claymation from later. That I'm pretty sure they just, like, put some horns on it and, like...
Yeah.
I have a feeling they just, like, turned the head around.
Yeah.
And, like, that's it. That's all it was.
Pretty much.
We'll get to the Dork-Bajir in a sec here. But yeah, so they're all... Visser 3 eats Elfangor. I'm assuming leaving nothing behind, because... Ugh.
That monster's gotta take a shit sometime.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean,
I just
he
picture, like...
morphs back into his Andalite self after this. Where does that shit go?
Oh my god. Into his Andalite stomach.
Z-Space.
He's about to take the wickedest Andalite shit. Just the biggest shit an Andalite has ever taken.
Gross.
This was actually the first time he's done this power move, and he is not aware of the fact that he actually has to digest that whole Elfangor himself.
Give it 12 hours, he's gonna know.
Yeah. Why is my shit blue? And why can't I stop it?
I've been going for 2 hours.
Oh, Jesus.
Jesus. That's not making it in.
All of a sudden, a group of controllers show up out of seemingly nowhere.
Yeah.
And they
What the
chase
hell?
the kids out of the power plant, but of course, Cassie somehow manages to get herself completely wrapped up in a bunch of wires.
Are just there.
Just some really light net-like rebar.
Yeah, that's just there, and she's like, "Oh no, it's completely engulfed my foot, and I can't get out."
Left out in a work site for some damn reason.
You'd be surprised what people leave fucking on the side of a shed.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, but the problem that I had was like, really? Like Cassie? Like, you couldn't have stepped around that one?
Or like, I don't understand how she stepped it. It's not a vine trap. Like,
Well, I mean,
you could have just stepped out of it.
Someone cast a snare on Cassie.
Let's be honest here. I think they really captured the spirit of the book, making it so that Cassie has the least interesting problem.
Ooh.
Burn. Love it.
Ouch. Mean.
So as they're trying to get Cassie out, one of the collectors who we never really see again, or not collectors. I've been replaying Mass Effect, so now I just have collectors in my head.
The controllers. They sent the Dork-Bajir to chase after these
Yeah,
kids.
the one says release the Dork-Bajir. And we get to see this reject from that show Dinosaurs.
What?
Oh my god, it's
Remember
so
that show
gross.
Dinosaurs?
Yeah, I totally do.
It's
Yeah.
the grossest looking puppet.
It looks like a shitty reject from that show.
Like a regular Dork-Bajir, as like Dak Hammy, that drawing of him on Dork-Bajir Chronicles, he's an alien you can kiss.
Oh,
This
my God,
one
right?
is a gross puppet that just goes,
Yeah, they're supposed to look like badass, and it just looks awful.
They described when the Dork-Bajir started chasing them. Specifically, what they said was, "Release the Dork-Bajir,"
Yeah,
as if it's like a pet, like a lion or like a bloodhound.
Yeah.
So, is that a thing is that a difference between the books and the movies? That like the Dork-Bajir are just dumb sniffing dogs? Like, is there not a Yerk in there?
so far it's not acting like it.
The Visser 3 Dork-Bajir are stupider, also, we established that.
Yeah, but not literally unthinking. They can use they have guns in the book by now.
And they're only stupider because they have the Yerk in them that's controlling them is stupid.
Okay. Let's move on.
Yeah, so the Dork-Bajir comes out, essentially
It
kind of just looks
literally
like a
doesn't
featherless
move
big
around.
bird.
It's got like the puppet of its head that like bobbles around the screen, and then when you see the full body shot, it's just like a Microsoft PowerPoint animation of it lifting its head and moving its arms a little bit, and it literally doesn't walk.
Yeah.
It just goes, ah!
It's real bad. So in order to help give the rest of the Animorphs time to get Cassie out, Jake decides that he's gonna distract the Dork-Bajir and chase him away. And apparently runs faster than a Dork-Bajir. And weren't you guys saying those things are insanely fast?
They're very fast, yeah.
They're very fast.
So apparently he's faster. only manages to get himself slightly scratched, which is never once brought up again.
Oh yeah, the Dork-Bajir gets him and
Yeah.
doesn't gank him to pieces and somehow falls behind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, lightly claws him and then is just like, oh no, I can't catch you.
Oh,
you fast
dang.
boy who chased a dog all the way from the mall to this abandoned construction site.
There's no Taxons.
That's
Damn
right.
it.
Not that we've seen, nope.
Damn it. I want to watch those. I want my big tubby boys. I want my
Tubby boys.
gross, fleshy boys.
Oh, gross. Right. Oh, ew.
Yep.
Gnarly. Not yet. Anyway, God. Apparently, did you guys know there was a second season?
Oh yeah.
Apparently
Oh,
they
yeah,
filmed
baby.
all 24 episodes all at once and did like 18 in season 1 and 6 in season 2.
Oh, okay. I was just doing a little bit of like extra research today, and I'm like, holy shit! I thought there was only like 12 episodes of this goddamn thing.
No, it's quite a bit.
Oh, dang! All right. So Jake crawls his way into a giant cement tube thing,
Yep.
and
That's
Homer
what you call it.
Homer works his way in there, and he decides like, Homer, I need your help. So he touches Homer, and then there's because apparently when they acquire the DNA of another animal, there's a sound cue.
Oh yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
And like a hard stop.
Yeah. So it's like, you got it right there. And like in the second episode too, Cassie's like, it's been acquired. I'm like, how the fuck do you know? Get to that in a second. And then, yeah, so we get to see our first morphing. Jake turns himself into his dog. It looks really, really bad. It takes forever.
It does take forever. They really want to show you the horror of this video Photoshop.
The horror. They want to show you like the pain that it causes to morph, but all it is the pain of having to watch this.
It looks like he's seizing.
Yeah.
But he doesn't really shake though. He just kind of like it's almost like they use static shots and
I
then
think they did. They had, okay, Jake, you sit here and look at the camera for 4 minutes, and then we'll get this dog to be still for a second and breathe.
But I mean like it's almost like they use stills.
oh,
you
like
know what I mean?
pictures.
Well, at one point there is like he's laying on his side and like his legs change to dog legs.
That's the
Yeah.
weirdest one.
And
I
I'm
hate
like, what
that
the
shot.
fuck?
Because they had to
like,
get the real dog to lie down, right? Because
Yep.
they couldn't. Yeah.
well, no, I don't think they needed to get the dog to lay down. I just think this dog was trained horribly. So it just laid down and they're like, well, fuck, alright, use it. Whatever. Because there's several points where this dog is like not doing what it's supposed to.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, oh, okay, let's go this way, Homer. And he like jumps up on Marco. I love it. I love it. Homer's the best character in this goddamn series.
easily.
And so he changes into...
or right before he's a dog, he sees a man with suspiciously shiny tips of his shoes, and he like rubs the back of his calf with one of his shoes. And then he morphs dog and they run out behind him.
So they bolt, and the rest of the kids have made their way out of the power plant. They're fine because the controllers chasing them just suck.
They just give up.
They completely give up.
Oh
They're
no,
like,
some
these
kids
damn
saw our
kids.
master plan. We're just gonna let him go.
Yeah, and
Well,
So-
they're master level Olympians. They can't catch these kids.
True.
That's true. They
That's
can't
very
catch these
true.
kids.
all of them are cross-country superstars. So it's a little known deep cut fact about just the series. It's just the series. Yeah. And then, so we cut to school the next day. They're all eating lunch. Marco tries to be funny, but he can't because he sucks.
Got him.
Ouch.
You know what? TV Marco is not funny, and I'm actually okay with ripping on him.
He's
Good, because I
he's
plan
bad.
to. I'm glad you're okay with that.
It's like, it's because his acting's not good.
I like the broship that him and Jake have that's like they're friends in the books, but in the series, this TV show, they're bros.
Yeah,
That's
that's
true.
They got a handshake and everything.
Oh yeah. And Marco speaks to him in weird Canadian suburb Spanish. Because there's no way that's like good Spanish. That's
No.
like this Canadian kid who grew up in like Fort Mac
Yeah.
who knows Spanish from
It's
his
a
mom.
good old
and
Berta
that's it.
Spanish.
Good old
This
Berta
is-
Spanish.
This is a pipeline kid with a tan who wanted to get into acting, and they said, like, need a brown person. And he's like, that's me. Hey, you need to be
Ground
Spanish. Can you do Spanish? Sure thing, muchacho. And they're like, this is our guy.
His accent's horrifying.
The episode ends with them at school discussing all of this information right in front of everyone, and Jake turns around and sees their principal, or their vice principal, Chapman, do the exact same leg move that he did in the construction site the night before.
Which no other human has
ever does.
Yeah, like, I have it in my notes. It's like, this principal clearly has a rash.
Like,
I did that. I think I might have. I distinctly remembered actually watching this episode of Animorphs when I was really little, like too early to remember it, and seeing that. And I remember, like, what I took away from it was like, oh, hell yeah. I don't have to lean down to scratch my leg. So I started doing that thing.
It's a kind of a cool thing to do. You touch the back of your leg with your foot.
You got to have those shoes though.
Oh, those shoes
make it.
Though. Those shoes and Tobias's leather jacket. You'd be the coolest kid on the block.
Woo.
So they find out that the vice principal's a controller. We get some more voiceover exposition, with which, if you've ever listened to an episode of Two Nerds, you know how much I fucking love voiceover exposition.
Yeah, boy.
And then we cut to credits, and that's part one of the first episode of...
It's all in your head. It's all in your head. It's all in your head.
It's almost like 90s.
Rewatching this show made me realize how much I love, like, that terrible, what would you call it, like, indie grunge rock?
They got the Nine Inch Nails to do this.
Like alternative grunge rock.
They got the Nine Inch Nails when they were still a garage band.
They got Nice is Neat to do it, you guys.
Oh, you son of a bitch. Don't make that meme.
No. I did quite a few times on the Twitter account already, though.
I think I saw that like yesterday.
Yep.
At one point, Cassie tells her mom that she should buy a Nine Inch Nails CD because the NIN stands for Nice is Neat.
What?
Yep.
Yeah, it's not a good joke.
She just said the band's... I don't get it.
No. So she wanted money to buy the new Nine Inch Nails CD, but she told her mom that it's like, yeah, I want to get this new NIN CD. And her mom's like, what's that? She's like, oh, Nice is Neat.
Oh, I thought it was like, yeah, I want to get the new Nine Inch Nails. New Nine Inch Nails CD.
No. Cassie lied to her mother.
Oh, Cassie, you bitch.
Right?
He's the most immoral character.
The Animorphs would be so much more moral without Cassie. Is that what you're saying?
That's the moment I realized I knew one of these days, Cassie's going to give herself up to the Yerks and immediately fuck over everybody. If you can lie to your own goddamn mother, you're capable of anything.
You're cold.
Cold-hearted.
All right. Well, also in this episode, we're discussing episode 2 of the TV show. So let's blast through that.
I'll do the recap for that. I think this is probably the best episode in the entire series because it's where they try out all the morphs.
Yeah, this is their trying our new powers.
And they really trying out their new visual effects is what they're doing.
They invented all kinds of technology. Like, the Animorphs TV show invented the technology that let James Cameron film Avatar. It's groundbreaking.
Woof.
It also led to enough developments in computers so that the Lord of the Rings movies could look good.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
This TV show made Lord of the Rings, babe.
I don't believe it did.
I think so.
I don't believe any of that.
I think so.
Continue.
Anyways, so the beginning of episode 2, it's definitely a continuation of the first episode because it's still Jake as a narrator.
Yeah.
I think it's even called My Name is Jake Part 2.
Part 2, yeah.
It totally is, yeah. And then as we all know from the books, but also you see in the book in the show that each episode kind of has its own narrator as well.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
it's really too bad that the My Name is Jeff meme didn't exist yet.
My name's Dave.
My name's Dave.
So Jake heads back to the power plant. I can't remember if he's just walking home or he actually wanted to see what was going on there now.
Well, first he's walking home and thinking everyone is suspicious, and this lady with a baby gives him the most evil eye in her sunglasses.
Yeah. Anyways, at the power plant, he sees that there's a bunch of controllers there, or what he can assume to be controllers, like looking for shit.
Yeah.
And my guess is they're looking for the disc and stuff like that.
Well, I think they're not looking for anything. They're just covering shit up. Because, like, Chapman comes and he's like,
am I the only one here who sees this Dork-Bajir print?
There it is.
And they're like, they're like, oh, we can't have any evidence that any evidence that the Andalite was here.
Yeah, they just
yell
say
the
it.
name a little more.
It's the middle of the day.
Loud. They're so loud. And
Anyways.
these construction worker controllers are just as useless as regular construction workers.
Right?
Like, they're doing hardly any work. It's like, come on,
Hey,
guys.
it's time for my break. I hear the steam whistle. Anyways.
I'm gonna close 4 lanes of traffic and then leave for 5 weeks.
That's a hot take. You're only gonna hear on Fanmorphs. So they all 5 of them at this point. Yeah, 5 of them meet up at Cassie's barn. Cassie has already tried out the morphing. Mm-hmm. She morphed a horse, which we kind of find out because she like walks out of the stable and thought speaks.
Yeah.
And then we get an explanation of like how the thought speak works. So Jarred, I feel like they kind of brushed over this quickly, but maybe you did get it. But it's like the thought speak or telepathy, essentially, like they can only use it when they're in morph, and they can choose who they target.
I knew they could choose who they could target. I didn't know they could only do it in morph, though.
Yeah, they don't explain it very well in the show,
Yeah.
but that is how it works.
my theory is that because Andalites naturally have thought speak.
Yeah.
So it's something they had to program into the cube to like, you can copy animals, but it also adds the whatever biological whatama-do it that Andalites have to thought speak.
Yeah.
Which is really convenient, because can you imagine this show if the kids couldn't thought speak? It'd be mayhem.
It would be pretty boring. It's just like they'd have to learn this like elaborate sign language that they could do in any.
No, it'd just be anytime they're morphed, the show is just silent. It's just like an 80% like silent movie era show.
And then it's just the theme song.
And then
It's
Marco
all in
comes
your
up
head.
and then Marco comes up and he's like, "You guys don't know anything about my side of town." And I go from there.
Okay, yeah, fucking hell.
And Marco starts doing sign language, and they're like, whoa, Marco, you're going too fast. And he's like, nah, they're gang signs, Holmes.
And he's just signing like the
Yeah.
national anthem.
Every time he comes into a new scene, it's his jacket is like one size bigger.
He's just morphing a slightly younger version of himself. Like, that's him like 3 months younger. He's just
Oh, Lord.
morphing.
Okay, anyways, let's get back to the barn.
Yeah.
Where they're all kind of like trying out their own morphs, and we get to see, as the audience, we get to see basically what the producer thought the morphing from the books should look like in real life, which I don't really agree with. I don't think we need to compare it too much. The only thing is, like, in the books, it's a very like agonizing and long thing. In this one, it's more like your shit just melts into some other shit.
Well, it's not very filmable what happens.
No, of course not. Yeah.
At least not with 90s technology.
I don't know, man. Mystique looked all right. Just throwing that out there.
That's true, but that was way faster.
Because
Yeah.
in the books, it describes like this takes 4 or 5 minutes. Like, you can't take 4 or 5 minutes to do that in the TV show.
I mean, but in
No,
the
of course
books, they
not.
also end up morphing in like 20 seconds. So the 4 or 5 minutes thing, like, you remember there's some times when they like speed morph really, really fast?
Yeah,
Anyway,
so
that
it
doesn't
never
really matter.
takes like 20 seconds.
There's like one time in book 2 where Jake dives under a desk and morphs
Okay.
from flea to human
Executive
to tiger.
gavel. We got to stop talking about the books and start talking about this fucking show. All right. Rachel tests out the morphing thing by morphing the cat. And then Marco kind of tests it out, but he's scared to test it out.
Yeah.
But on a rat that they have, I think it's a white rat actually. And
It's a gray rat. It's just a gray one.
Okay. He stops halfway through the morph though, which is also pretty horrifying to look
Oh,
at.
it's terrible. It's
Yeah, and
truly
then-
awful.
And then pops back to his normal self. Also, while all of this is happening, there's a lot of shots of Tobias like eye fucking this hawk that they
Oh, yeah.
have. Yeah,
He's
it's-
stroking it and he's just staring into it, and it's ooh.
Yeah, and he does acquire it. I'm pretty sure in that scene.
Yeah,
But-
I think so. Because there's the weird audio cue.
Yeah, he doesn't actually morph it. It is really awkward the way he stares at it. like for way too long sometimes. Anyways, the point of the scene is just to show like, look, they all know that they can morph now and they've all tried it and can do it.
Well, then also Tobias just like fucks off and they're just like, what? Where'd Tobias go? And they call for him and the camera pans to he's hiding behind a tree, but like never goes to talk to them or explain himself. And it hasn't come up yet.
Nope,
Episodes
not at all.
later, it hasn't come up yet.
Well, because isn't the idea that like he wasn't really their friend before, but then he kind of gloms onto them?
Like there was no description of them knowing each other before. There was no exposition dump of like, oh hey, Tobias, you're like my friend in school.
If they're gonna do that, like, don't have him be there at all. Like, there's no point in him running away. That he just wouldn't have shown up.
Also, it's not like hard to believe that these 5 people who just like met an alien together would have some. That's a pretty good icebreaker to hang out the next day.
Yeah. And I mean, he is there eating lunch with them the day after.
Yeah, it's very weird.
But I don't know why he acts all awkward.
Anyways, Jake shows that he's got the disc on him. They found the disc, I guess.
No, they go to
disc.
get the disc in this episode.
Oh.
They have this whole plan. Cassie morphs horse and gets her legs spray painted blue. Marco like lights up flares and yells, "Hey, over here!" And Jake, as dog, digs up the disc and gets it.
You skipped like a whole half of the episode.
Not really. No. That's the next part
That's
that
what happens after the barn. They're like, "Oh fuck! Like, where'd Tobias go?"
Isn't there a bunch of stuff where they meet Marco's dad and Rachel's family and stuff like that?
I think that's next episode.
Yeah, that's
episode 3.
That's only like a minute if that is in this one.
Yeah, in episode 2, we meet Cassie's mom, and she just like essentially just leads them into the barn. We meet Rachel's sister, who Rachel gives a pretty necklace that she had apparently told her never to touch, assumedly because Rachel now fears for her life.
Isn't this also the episode where Jake comes to like hang out with Marco or like to grab Marco's dad is like, Jake, you stand in the hall while I talk to my son.
Oh yeah, this is. And then Marco's like, Dad, you can't even program a DVR.
No, a VCR.
A VCR. Sorry.
This is years before DVR.
Yeah.
His dad is so like depressingly bad. Whoever edited this like does not understand how to cut away from somebody at an appropriate time, because they show shots of his dad and it's like, oh yeah, so Dad, you look for jobs today? And he's like, no. Cut away.
In another one, he's like, oh yeah, I had a job here, but I canceled it. I'm like, you're a fuck. Like, I get it.
You're so depressed, dude. Yeah, because then Marco picks up his boombox because Jake goes to pick him up, and then they go to the construction site to do their whole Grandmaster plan.
Which is basically, like, distract them. Marco, like, has fireworks and shit, or, like, flares or something.
He has a couple of road flares.
Yeah.
She just leaves. Like, why does he have them?
I think he was trying to, like, recreate the lights that, like, the spaceship had.
Yeah, he tried to make it look like a UFO landing.
But it was very clearly just a kid standing there with road flares.
And I also feel like if the controllers were close enough to see the flares in his hands, they were close enough to see that it was a human kid, and they're going to go out of their way to kill this kid. Like, what?
They're blinded by the flares, man. That's not okay. Anyways, so yeah, they do like a pretty lame heist, and like the highlight of the entire heist is probably where it's like, is it they're trying to scare them into thinking Visser 3 is there or something?
No, they're trying to think more Andalites have landed.
More Andalites, that's right. So they paint Cassie's legs as a horse.
It's fucking glorious.
And if you walk, and it's like, so even you are admitting that like you've just painted a horse for those earlier scenes.
Yeah. He's like, you painted a horse blue to make it look like an Andalite.
Yeah. And everyone is like, oh, it's definitely an Andalite. It's like, so it's canon. Like, it's not just like production problems. It's like, no, it's canon that it looks
it just looks like a horse that's
actually a horse.
Anyways, Tobias shows up at the end, and because he was missing kind of, and he was a bird. There's a pretty hilarious scene of him like morphing back into a human from the bird
while sitting on a branch, and it's hysterical.
Yeah, and his human face like pops out of his bird face. It's pretty funny.
So good. The beak is his nose for a second. It's beautiful.
Beaks or noses, man.
We gotta share these like screen grabs on our Facebook, I think.
They're very good.
Oh yeah, but he comes back because Chapman has captured Jake and Rachel as cat and dog in the same tube that Jake was caught in already. It's like, Jake, why'd you run into this tube with no exit?
I was hoping for like a Milo and Otis thing to happen, but it didn't happen.
That would have been so good. No, Milo and Otis, they ended up killing a lot of animals in the filming of that movie.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, there's that whole bit where they're in the river.
Oh my
God.
They just
I didn't know that was a thing. That's horrible.
I know! It was one of my favorite movies when I was a kid.
I think it's testament to how terrible these shows are, because like the fact that I can't remember a lot of these details, because Brayden and I actually watched these together. We were holding hands, like we were passionately talking about the show. And
my wife didn't get it at all.
I know. She was watching them with us. She's like, okay, I'm walking away now. I think she left the room after like 10 minutes.
Like, that's because you were watching it with Brayden, Mikhail. Like, you got too distracted by looking into his beautiful eyes.
I know.
My baby blues.
Anyways, that was basically it for those 2 episodes as far as plot goes. There were definitely some things that I wanted to talk about the show just in general. One of the biggest things, and probably the most important thematically, is what the fuck is up with Marco's hair?
Why? It looks like a 1600s judge wig. That's something Jared said when we were watching it.
It's he has like these 2 weird side curls going on.
Yeah, I just...
Like,
it looks disgusting.
There's one point when he's
so
leaving the
Joe.
house and he's looking in the mirror. His dad's like, "Don't worry, you're beautiful." I'm like, "No, you're not. Shave your fucking head."
Yeah. Does he actually does he get a haircut like in the books? That was
I hope so.
prominent?
Because that was a big plot thing in the book.
Yeah.
I can't tell if you guys are
I mean,
fucking
not
with me
really.
or not.
No, it's a thing. His model gets a haircut between book 5 and book 10, and they reference it in the book. Because he went from shoulder-length hair to, like,
To this?
super short. All better than this, but basically this.
Yeah, it's hot.
But yeah, but also Marco isn't funny. Like, he tries to make jokes, and it's just...
Because he just comes off like an asshole.
He just comes off as, like, really snarky and rude and terrible. It's not funny at all.
That and the whole when they're in the barn and they're morphing, and he has that whole like, you guys just don't get it, man. My mom died kind of thing.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
just
I'm
go
the
be
only one there
Batman then.
for
Don't
my
just stand
dad.
around whining. Fuck out of here.
Yeah, he like it's a plot point in the book that like his mom died, but it's not a public plot point. It's like an internal struggle with him, kind of.
Exactly. It's not
Yeah.
something that he brings up to lord over the rest of the kids. Like,
Yeah,
No.
pretty much.
oh, he's just an asshole.
Also, like, hell no, prey animals are not easier to morph than other animals, because you gotta deal with that rat brain. And, like, Marco crawls into the rat cage and then starts, like, running on the wheel while screaming, "Run! Run!" Like,
Pretty
Marco.
The probably like the most striking thing when you're watching this, because like reading the books, you know, the theater of the mind. But Braden, I'm curious to know, and Jared as well, what your thoughts are on the claymation Dork-Bajir kind of, because there's that one shot from far away, and it's like,
Oh,
what
wow.
the fuck? It's like writhing or something
Yeah.
while it's
I
screaming.
don't think
Yeah.
they're claymation. I think it was actual animation.
I mean, that's what claymation is, right?
No, but I think it's like, you know, computer graphics for the full body shot.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think so.
Listeners, check in with us. We'll put a poll on Twitter. Is it claymation or traditional animation?
I'll just tweet out and just be like, I don't care. It looks like shit anyway. Doesn't matter what it is.
It doesn't actually look scary at all.
No, because like I didn't know these things. I remember watching this when I was little, and I was like, these things just look dumb.
Yeah.
And now that I saw it again, close up, it looks like a reject from that show Dinosaurs. On the full body thing, it looks like a shaved Big Bird.
Yeah.
Because its legs are really long and scaly, and then it's got like a big, round, fat body, and like human-sized arms.
Oh no.
It's really bad.
Lord in heaven, you're right. Big
know.
Bird, no.
Oh,
He fell
Brayden,
on
also
hard times.
on that same topic, do you think that the TV show Hentai Fuck Beast matches up with what you thought the book
That
Hentai
was
Fuck
not
Beast?
a hentai fuck beast.
Okay.
It
I thought
was,
as much.
It looked like a big Dork-Bajir, kind of like a dragon. I think a friend of mine owned a toy of it when I was a kid, but it's literally impossible to tell because it looks like every other dragon-esque toy from that time period.
So hold on. This show did well enough that they made toys?
I mean, the
Yeah.
books did well enough that they made toys. There was literally morphing toys you could get where, like, Jake turned into
I remember seeing them in the story,
a tiger, and he looked like a transformer both ways. Like, he's huge and bulky with this tiny little doll human head, and then you snap him, and he looks like a terrible, terrible tiger.
Oh, that's fucking wonderful.
The thing was, they couldn't get him. I don't know if it's just something they didn't bother trying, or something that, like, they never found a way to do, but, like, it wasn't just an animal and then, like, a sort of gonky looking human. It was a human it was an animal morph, and then a half man, half beast morph with interchangeable heads for whether it was a human, like, Jake person, or just some strange beast person.
It's terrible. I mean, they never should have made... There's so much shit they shouldn't have made. They made a video game out of this as well.
It was
They made a
basically
couple.
Pokemon. Like, the one video game, anyway, you can play it in, like, 40 minutes, finish the whole thing, and it's basically Pokemon.
Oh, wow.
From what I've
It's
seen
not
on
good.
YouTube, anyway. Also, can I talk about how mad I am? Like, the Yeerks are repeatedly described as slugs. They even say that they look like slugs in the TV show. And then all the images are of trilobites, like tiny little trilobites crawling
Yeah.
into this computer-generated human.
Can I say, though, that I don't mind that? Because that actually looks like something that could just burrow into your ear and, like, fuck with your mind.
It's creepy. I know when I first saw these episodes, I think that freaked me out, too, with those little legs going in
Yeah.
there. Especially from hearing stories of, like, earwigs and centipedes hiding in people's ears.
Exactly.
Lord in
Like,
heaven.
That's creepy as fuck. Yeah, that's... ugh.
I'm not
Yeah,
comfortable. I'm not comfortable.
No, I'm gonna go clean my ears out right away.
We do have a bit of an OTP alert in this one.
Kind of, yeah.
Rachel is, like, really into that Tobias that Mikhail thinks is part Inuit.
I have written Inuit parentheses question mark close parentheses.
I think he might be part Asian. He kind of looks like what's not Tommy Lee.
You're
Bruce
trying to say
Lee's
there's,
kid.
like-
He was in The Crow.
Oh, Brandon Lee.
Brandon Lee. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? He actually kind of looks like. Do you remember in Cloud Atlas when they gave Jim Sturgis Asian panfold eyes or whatever?
No, but that sounds terrible.
Yeah, no, it was terrible.
God.
What?
Yeah,
I never actually saw all of Cloud Atlas.
It was all right.
I've never seen it.
yeah, it's not great.
Ugh.
I liked it.
Well, whatever. It's not the Cloud Atlas show. We should talk about this though, Brayden, at some
Yeah.
point.
She's like, yeah, but you are not kidding. She is like all into that.
She's just like, where is Tobias? Like when he's gone from the barn, and it's like you see it a lot more in episode 3 here coming up next week.
Yeah.
But like she's like real into it, and they talk, and she like flips her long blonde hair, like, "Hey Tobias, what's up?"
There's some scenes in the next episode that are just like, hey, I am ready for something if you're ready.
Yep.
I'm 12 years old, and I just got my first acting gig. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Jesus. To be fair, the actors were not
Jesus.
12, so it's a little less creepy, but anyways.
But I will say, I like how young they look, because like they gotta
Well, they
be
are
like
young.
15 or 16 at the most.
That's true.
Yeah, none of these were adult actors.
It's none of this like,
Because thinking
you know,
thinking
30-year-olds
back, I'm
playing high
thinking
schoolers.
like 2000 when we saw Jake as Iceman in X-Men.
Yeah.
He's still like, I could have guessed he was like 18.
I mean, he's got a little bit of a
19?
baby face, though.
Oh, yeah.
Until
Sean
those
Ashmore,
that's
cheek
Ashmore.
bones come in. I know,
Yeah.
John Ashmore.
Sean.
Sean Ashmore.
Wow, Tessa.
I'm sorry, Jake. I only
Uh,
know you as Jake.
I'd like to shout out also to our listener, US Dutch Kitty, who has once again called you out.
Kate.
No, like 2 weeks ago, I think it was, where it was like, you got that shit wrong with the phone number that
Kate,
Cassie gave.
But like her, because Cassie's fake phone number that she gave them was 1-234-5678, which US Dutch Kitty on Twitter says that could be 1-234-5678. You know, like 1-800 numbers. My rebuttal to that, but like 1-800 267 2001. Alarm force. But like there's other numbers. There's 3 more. If it is like a 1-800 number, that means there's 3 numbers missing. It should be 1-234-567-8910. You know what I mean?
I suggest you build your case for when we eventually have a gladiator-style showdown where you guys fight over who's going to be the expert on the show.
And the winner gets to live and the loser gets brutally murdered by a hentai fuck beast.
Oh, Jesus.
And because I've said it on the podcast, that means it's, we're not going to get in trouble if one of us actually dies. Loophole,
I think you'd
police.
still get in trouble. Look out, police. I've cracked
In
the
fact,
code.
I think now, if they find... Now you've done it, Tessa. If, like, either one of you or Dutch Kitty dies in a mysterious accident, like, now they have to look into it as a homicide, because they'll think you actually went through with it. Or...
Here's the
It's
twist.
all
I'll cut
in
that.
your
I'll cut that part out,
You
but I'll
got
include the
that.
admission in the next bloopers episode. So they really have to dig for it.
What a story, Mikhail.
Okay.
Oh, hi, Mikhail.
Fuck. All right, we're gonna skip predictions this week just because you already know the story, right? It's the
Yeah.
same story that we read already.
It's a TV show.
So next week we'll be talking about episodes 3 and 4, basically the same exact format. Jared will also be there.
You goddamn
Friend
right.
of the show. We're trying to upgrade him from friend of the show to like friend with benefits of the show.
Oh my god, can we though? That
Oh
would
god,
be so good.
do I have to fuck a microphone?
We're already a third of the way there. He's,
Sure, you can call it a microphone if that helps. But in the meantime, Jared, where can we find you?
You could find me on collectivelegacy.org. It'll be under Two Nerds in a Basement, or also on iTunes, Spotify, working on Google Play at the moment, which, by the way, Google, why are you making my life such hell?
I know. God damn it.
Yeah, check us out anywhere there.
What's your show about?
My show every other week, me and another nerd watch one of the over 70 movies put out by Marvel or DC Comics and talk about them for way too long. We've had everybody on this podcast on that podcast.
I watched Blade 2 with him. I watched Supergirl, which is great if you want to watch an anime live action show that's not at all about superheroes and kind of about whatever the fuck.
And witches
Yeah.
and all kinds of stuff.
Witches and magic.
Yeah, I didn't get it
Yeah.
at all.
fuck yeah.
It's great.
I had you on. We watched the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man together.
That's a good
Fuck
episode.
yeah.
That was a great one. That
was
was
a good
tons
episode.
of fun. Braden, I had you on. We watched Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. Where
I
Buddy.
enjoyed that episode also. That was quite good.
I made it into the trailer reel. No big deal.
yeah, you did.
Oh, I'll make it into trailer number 2.
One day, it'll happen.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's why I gave you $20 last time I saw you, Jared. So
Or was
make it
that
happen.
just for the sex?
Oh, we don't pay for the sex at this point.
But yeah, so check us out there. Just uploaded the Daredevil episode where me and my buddy Taylor watched the god awful Ben Affleck one.
Oh man.
Oh God.
Does it have that
Yeah.
really good fight with Elektra, or isn't that the end of the
No,
Elektra movie?
that's in the Daredevil movie.
Ooh, it's almost as good as that Catwoman basketball off. I'm so excited for when we watch Catwoman. Babe. It's gonna be so good.
But yeah, that's me. That's where you can listen to more of me and everybody else here.
Yeah, man, listen to that show. Anyone who hasn't heard it yet, it is very good. Also, while you're rewatching all your MCU movies for watching Infinity War, which will be out for a couple weeks by the time this airs.
There's so many movies. Just listen to Two Nerds in a Basement.
Yeah, man.
That's it.
Catch
Who's
up.
got time to watch all these movies?
Yeah,
Well, the
nobody.
episodes are still 90 minutes. So, I mean,
Just watch all the.
but you could be digging a hole or, shingling a roof while doing it.
Exactly.
As opposed to the movies.
Digging a hole like you do.
No.
In your job, you dig a hole and you cover up the Dork-Bajir print your boss found.
Is a large part of the Dork-Bajir the fandom ditch diggers? Is that part
I
of
think
it?
so. I think that's a lot
Yeah.
of people.
I like to think so.
Shout out to all my ditch diggers.
Anyways, Tessa, where can you find more of our stuff?
You can find more of us we have a Facebook where we post our spicy meme meatballs. We've also got the Tumblr, Instagram, the Twitter account, collectivelegacy.org for like Jared's podcast, this podcast, other podcasts that are really good. We're all over the internet. We're the ones making those really good Animorphs memes. You're welcome.
You can find those on Twitter and on our Facebook page. And,
which I literally just said. Thank you, Brayden.
It's the same thing every week.
You can find Tessa's Twitter on our Facebook page and go just straight up, just post gay porn on it until she cracks, because this is unacceptable. Break her down the middle for this abuse.
No, don't do it.
But yeah, that's where most of our memes are, and make sure to subscribe to our content on iTunes, on other, and wherever good podcasts are found.
For the Animorphs, my name is Mikhail, the host.
I'm Tessa, the expert.
I'm Brayden, and I can't be considered the newbie anymore because I knew everything that would happen.
And I'm Jarred. I'm just here for the really bad TV show.
And this has been Animorphs, the Dork-Bajir Chronicles.
Und ja!
If you're looking for more Animorphs content, you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Just search for Animorphs, the Dork-Bajir Chronicles.
Harder than the sound of your life passing you by.
Try Inadmissible, a podcast designed by a leading team of experts in the field of excitementology and non-boringness.
On Inadmissible, you'll hear Quinn and Mikhail, two of our bleeding-edge analysts, break down and rebuild the worst ads you've ever had the misfortune to experience.
Listen in as they tear apart lackluster emotional tactics.
Gather around as they explain why you shouldn't make your product look like a steaming pile of garbage.
Poop jokes.
All this and more on Inadmissible, a podcast about terrible advertising. For more details, visit collectivelegacy.org.
Inadmissible should not be consumed if you are easily offended or your tolerance for immaturity is lower than that of a 6-year-old child. Inadmissible may cause fits of laughter so intense your lungs may suffer from burst blood vessels. Consult your doctor before listening to Inadmissible.
Inadmissible, a podcast about terrible ads. Brought to you by
Collective Legacy,
a podcast network.